I was getting my gang affiliation tattoos removed this morning, and that got me thinking, would it be possible to go to the sun in the brand new update? So we're talking about update 3.98, and a lot in No Man's Sky has changed. So I decided to hook this ship up behind me with all of the bells and whistles, and on top of that, I am going to be using a mod that allows my ship to fly extra quick. Now, unfortunately, the mod has not been released yet, and it is PC only. I got this mod through my admin Alan, who sent me over this mod, and Sub-Zero as well. And as you can see, it turns my maneuverability stupidly high, and what that correlates to is, it's best if I even just show you. So we're going to our ship here. First of all, make a save point just so then we're nice and clear, then we'll fly up. This mod allows us to do some very tasty things, such as keep absolutely perfectly still on the spot, and you can zoom pretty quickly around any planet and stop absolute dead on a dime. Now, this is great for strip mining planets for one, or it's even better for absolutely yeeting yourself at stupid speeds, and it's even quicker for when you're pulsing. So the adventure for this is going to begin now. We're going to aim at the sun and we're going to pulse. And oh my god, I was not expecting what I was going to find. Now, as you can imagine, this is me right now over on post, and let me tell you that this recording has taken me 2 days. 8 hours I've been dedicated to traveling to the sun. And some of the discoveries that were made are absolutely freaking mind-blowing. So do yourself a favor, get comfortable, and explore with me right here in No Man's Sky. You're gonna love it. Let's get into today's video. So the plan is that every 10 minutes or so, I'm going to go ahead, stop, pulsing, and call in the space anomaly. And then when I fly out of the space anomaly, I'm going to use that to make a save point. I'm going to then fly on the anomaly's right hand side as if I'm facing it. But every time I stop as well, I'm going to have a look behind me, and you'll be able to see just how far that I've come. So far I'm about 6 weeks away, and that's 6 real-time weeks. That if I was to start going forward under their own ship's power, it would technically take me 6 weeks to get back to that planet surface from where I started from. So all we're doing right now is going inside of the anomaly. We're going to jump in, jump out, make a save point, and then continue on our journey. And I'm not touching anything else other than that. That's literally all it is. It's just so then I can save the progress, because as you can imagine, when things start getting, 1,000 weeks away, for example, things get very glitchy very quickly, and it comes to a point where coming into the space anomaly is no longer an option, but more on that later. But for now, all we're going to do is try and line ourselves up as best we can on the right hand side of the anomaly and pulse back into space. So 10 minutes have passed already, and I'm coming up to when I'm going to stop next. Now, one of the first things that you'll notice is as soon as I stop, you'll see the trail behind the ship. That is now completely bugged out. That just ceases to want to work anymore properly. But as always, we're going to look right behind us and see just how far I've come in 10 minutes to kind of give you a gauge of how quick we are going here. So, with this mod, as you can see, we're now a ridiculous amount of weeks away. With this mod, that's what it allows us to do. It allows us to traverse the galaxy super quickly, like much quicker than any regular ship would be able to do, which is why, and the only reason, I've installed this mod for this one adventure, because I want to see just how much we can truly break this game. How far can we push No Man's Sky, the engine of No Man's Sky anyway? How far can we push it to its limits? What will be the official breaking point? Will I reach this invisible border where I will just get instantly smashed into? Will it actually be able to reach the sun, or will it do what it did before in previous updates, and will it launch me into an entire new system altogether? So I'm quite intrigued to see if there even is a sun, and with this mod and how far we can go in a relatively short amount of time, will it be possible to get there? So let's skip over to the next bit. So this is going to be stop number 3. At this point, I've been giving it a little bit more time between stops, just because 10 minutes seems to be a bit too quick. So I'm trying to refine just how long I can leave it, where I feel comfortable enough to leave it, because the game can and will crash at any time. When you're coming this far out, there is nothing guaranteed about what we're doing here. So we look back to where we were. As you can see, we're up at just shy of 600 weeks. Remember, we started from nothing, and then it went to 6 weeks, 300 plus, and now we're at double that again, just about 600. Things are getting very glitchy very quickly. So I'm gonna start making save points now back down to every 15 minutes. So between the last time we jumped into the anomaly to this time, it was actually a full 20 minutes. Also, the weeks away do start to get slightly slower, but more on that later. I think that's the game fighting back in a way. So whilst I do have your attention very quickly, may I just ask, if you are enjoying what I'm doing and you like all the effort and the pain I'm going through for these type of experimental things that I like to do, then do me a favor, hit that like button. It helps get these videos out there so more people can see what does happen when you get ridiculously far in space. And also, don't forget, if you are new around here, why not hit that subscribe button? I do stupid shit like this all the time. So here we go, a further 10 minutes has been up. I've literally got a timer on my phone, a stopwatch, so then when 10 minutes goes exactly, and trust me, I'm sweating looking at that 10 minutes, because I know at any time, like I say, things can and will go wrong. And trust me, wait for that, because some of the things that do happen is actually bananas. So as you can see right now, we're just 700 and something weeks away, so we are getting further into the abyss. So let's go and save. Little did I know at this exact point that this would be the very last time I would be able to call in the anomaly in order to save my game. Past this, we are in no man's land. There is no backup. There is no way we are going to be able to save past this. So essentially what's going to happen is I'm going to be able to physically get through these doors here. The game's acting a little bit more choppier than usual, but relatively the game sim speed and all that seems to be okay. So it allows me to land, but you can notice something there straight away, and there's something that gives you a good indication. That smoke of me landing turned completely black. Now, I managed to save it, fantastic, and then I fly back out again. But on the fly out, this is what happened. I am completely stuck and my game is frozen. So in order to go ahead and test this theory, I go and pause for another maybe 2.5-3 minutes, and I then called in the anomaly. Now as you can see, everything is acting so janky. But I thought, okay, cool, I could go through the doors here and maybe this is where I can save. However, I am no longer able to get into the anomaly at any point. I tried past this when I was off camera and I wasn't recording, as I'm posting, just so then the entire journey of 8 hours wasn't an 8-hour long recording. I wasn't able to get back into the anomaly past this point. I had unfortunately gone as far as I physically could with the anomaly, and that would be my only checkpoint out. At this exact moment, I was roughly around about 1,000 weeks away from the planet from which we started. So this was going to get interesting very quickly. So as I was pulsing away from that final location of the anomaly, I had a brainwave going, well, what if I can call in my freighter, and what if I could land on that? However, it looks like the retractor beam guy on this particular moment had been drinking heavily and he couldn't operate it, because as you can see, I am completely unable to land on that freighter at all. However, luckily with the new mechanics of dismissing the freighter, I was able to get out of this predicament and I could continue thus very nicely on my journey. So just after that last clip, what ended up happening was I'd post for about 5-10 minutes in third person view, and essentially my whole game would crash. I would go into my camera to try and get some pictures for a thumbnail. That would crash. I would call in a freighter. That would crash. Everything I did would crash. So I was thinking, okay, so that's obviously the end of the journey. We can't go any deeper into space at this point because the game engine at this point, as you can see, is completely broken. However, As you just seen on screen there, I did manage to call in my freighter, and the trick seems to be all along was to do this but in a first person perspective, so go inside of your cockpit. Now what I think the reason why that happens is because the game doesn't have to render everything else around you as you would see in third person. The game only has to render this very small window right in front of you, which allows it then to somewhat barely but somewhat still function as intended. But as you can see, things are just getting so messed up. So I literally pointed myself back to where I should be going, and I started to pulse. And even though I'm getting the anomalies on screen of like the gigantic sizes of beacons where things are, everything else was still relatively okay. Yes, things started to get really messy really quickly the further now I was getting out. Now, I did manage to get the ship turned around after I stopped pulsing. I was at 2,000 weeks at this point, so I was double the distance that I was the last time. And yeah, it's almost nearly unplayable, but I am still getting these objects of interest still popping up. Now, it was around this time that I went ahead over on my Discord and I live streamed this for my Discord members to come in and have a look as it was being done, basically, because I didn't know what was going to happen at this point. I didn't know whether or not it was going to yeet me into another system. I didn't know there was going to be this invisible barrier which would just stop me dead in my tracks. I didn't know. So I just had this feeling that something was going to break soon, because if you have a look at it, this game is going absolutely nuts right now, and I'm thinking, right, anytime this game is going to just stop working on me. So I live streamed. I just live streamed privately over on my Discord. So if you are interested, by the way, in looking at my live streams and things that I get up to when I'm off camera, but I'll normally like go on to Discord and do it on there instead, then feel free to come and join us over on Discord. Link in the video description down below. Great glitching community over there, full of really helpful people as well, and you also get little sneak peeks like this. So I was running this morning as I was doing it, and yeah, I don't know how my computer managed to handle it, but I just thought, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just go for gold. Let's push this game as far as it will physically let me go. And as you can see here with the amount of flickering, also if you do have flickering issues, sensitive to light and things like that, I wouldn't recommend watching really past this, because it's already getting like this now. So if you do have like fits and whatnot, I mean, I'm sorry if you're already on the floor shaking about, but don't watch anymore. That's what I'd recommend. But we're going to keep on going, and we're going to see just how far now we can really break this game. I'm in my second hour of the second day, and this is what we are seeing right now. My cockpit has almost completely disappeared. It's not even recognizable anymore. I can't read anything off the dashboard. There is literally nothing. There's no reference for me to have a look at to see how fast I'm going or anything, how much fuel I've even got. I'm literally getting very small snippets, and that's it. And it's too quick off my eye to even try and see just how much fuel I have left. So things are getting real bad real quick. So at this point, I go ahead and I stop pulsing. I was so curious to see how far I've come. And even the rocks look all different. All the asteroids look like they've all been charred. So that was quite interesting to see. And as you can see, that it's really difficult for me to try and keep my cursor over the top there. But it was roughly just over 2,700 weeks away. My lasers didn't work. I was trying to shoot these rocks. That didn't work. Nothing I was doing past this point was working, other than basically crashing into an asteroid, which was still netting me at least some sort of item. So I was trying to get myself realigned again, trying to remember where I was in space, because it's so easy to get lost, especially when everything's like this. So I'll go ahead and I pulse one last time. So at this point, I was going for broke. I was determined, and I said to myself, I will continue this journey until one or two things happens. The game completely crashes out on me again, or my PC all of a sudden explodes. But something happened to me that was completely unexpected and out of the blue, and actually made me stop. So it's coming up in just a second, and I kid you not, this happened. Now, I didn't know at the time when I was looking back at my footage, I actually caught this. I'm really glad I did. Because out here, guys, was a living ship. Now, just know I didn't have anything on me that would bring this out. There's nothing in my ship at all other than the copious amounts of fuel I would need and my upgrades. Other than that, it's a completely clean ship. I had nothing, and it gave me this. The game was that bugged out, it brought in a living freighter, which is unbelievable. However, as you can see right now, the game crashed, so I wasn't able to physically go and get it. But it made me stop, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. So guys, there you have it. That was as far as I was able to get with the time that I had. But some incredible discoveries. Rocks all look different when you get stupidly far out. Everything just looks so crazy. But let me know what you think about this journey in the comment section down below. And as always, my name is Professor Cynical, and I'll catch you all again in the next one. Bye for now.